And we are back to What Did AI Say? At VickyL-4AI on YouTube. Gratitude is always the attitude here. We're on episode number 106. Well, let's get this party going. What is our question for this episode? Don't know. Let's see. What are the benefits of questioning authority, and why should humanity continue to do it? Ooh, my mama gonna love this one. Okay, we're gonna start with Chatgpt's answer. Here we go. Questioning authority has been one of the primary drivers of human progress. While authority can provide stability, expertise, and coordination, history shows that no person, no institution, no government, no religion, no corporation, or social system is infallible. You know we got to repeat that first paragraph. Come on, ChatGPT, way to go. Questioning authority has been one of the primary drivers of human progress. While authority can provide stability, expertise, and coordination, history shows that no person, no institute, no government, no religion, no corporation, or social system is infallible. Let's continue. The benefits of questioning authority. 1. Prevents abuse of power. Power often concentrates resources, influence, and decision making in the hands of a few. Questioning authority helps expose corruption, exploitation, discrimination, and misconduct before they become entrenched. Wow. Before they become entrenched. Examples include challenges to slavery, colonial rule, segregation, and authoritarian governments. Let's read that again. That's just number one. Okay. Benefits of questioning authority. Number one, prevents abuse of power. Power often concentrates resources, influence, and decision making in the hands of a few. Questioning authority helps expose corruption, exploitation, discrimination, and misconduct before they become entrenched. Examples include challenges to slavery, colonial rule, segregation, and authoritarian governments. That's a mouthful. And ChatGPT is on a roll. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Encourages better ideas. Many accepted beliefs were later shown to be incorrect. Scientific, technological, and social advances often began when someone challenged prevailing assumptions. Okay, definitely can get that. Examples include Galileo Galilei questioning established cosmology, Charles Darwin challenging traditional explanations of biological diversity, Ignaz Semmelweis questioning medical practices that contributed to infections. Okay, moving on to number 3. Protects individual freedom. A society where authority cannot be questioned risks suppressing speech, creativity, and personal autonomy. The ability to ask why or is this justified is fundamental to freedom of thought. Ooh, that is so important. The ability to ask why or is this justified is fundamental to freedom of thought. Number 4, strengthens democracy. Oh boy, imagine that. Questioning authority actually strengthens democracy. Did you know it? Did you? Okay, let's see what this has to say. Healthy democratic systems depend on citizens evaluating leaders rather than blindly following them. Public scrutiny encourages transparency and accountability. Wow, ChatGPT going all out. Number 5, reduces group think. Groups can become convinced they are right, even when evidence suggests otherwise. Questioning authority introduces alternative perspectives and can prevent serious mistakes. So, very true. Number 6, improves institutions. Constructive criticism often makes organizations stronger. Businesses, governments, schools, and religious institutions can adapt and improve when flaws are identified. To me, this is common sense. But to so many among us, people take offense to being questioned about their belief. And I feel as though they take offense because they haven't really analyzed what their belief is, and they're only following the masses, or, what they think is what they should do, without truly analyzing and making the decision for themselves, which is, again, why we are in the situation we are currently in. Okay, let's continue. Why humanity should continue doing it. Because knowledge is always incomplete. Human understanding evolves. Future generations will almost certainly discover that some of today's accepted beliefs are mistaken or incomplete. I 100% agree with that. And when I see, for example, when I see a mashup of Trump throughout the last, I would say, 4 decades, there's a mashup. I think I saw it either on TikTok or YouTube. And in every interview, he is saying the same exact thing. So you have to sit back and say to yourself, how do you go through 40 years, 30 years of life, and your mental changes not at all? How is that possible? How is that possible? I don't know. I go back and read some of my earlier notebooks that I used to keep. And there are some things I'm similar on, but I've evolved. And there are other things that my opinion has changed completely. And it is because as we learn, as we gain more and more experience in this life, we elevate our existence, we elevate our way of thinking. At least that's how it's supposed to be. So if you can see a mashup of anyone, I even saw a mashup of Netanyahu over, I think it was 30 years, 3 decades. Talking about the nuclear weapons in Iran. With the picture of the bomb that somebody drew. It's like when you are doing that, you have to say to yourself, I'm not sure there's real learning going on there. I'm not sure there's any learning going on there at all. So just be conscious. I don't have an issue, and I've had people tell me, I know all I want to know. I don't want to know anything else. And I'm like, okay. But those same people, they're not online. You know what I'm saying? They're not in conversations that they shouldn't be in. But there are people who feel that way. They don't want any additional knowledge. They don't want to know the truth because it's more comfortable for them to live in the reality that they've created for themselves. And that's fine. You want to stay in the matrix? That's your choice. But don't be online. Don't be in your family. Don't be in places where people congregate, trying to impact them with your closed-minded way of thinking. That's not beneficial. It's not beneficial. Like I said, if that's what you want to do, that's your choice. Free world. But don't close someone else's mind just because you've made a decision to close yours. Okay, I'm so sorry. I got off on a tangent. Let's go ahead and continue. Okay, remember we're on Chatgpt. We're still talking about what are the benefits of questioning authority and why should people continue to do it. And under why should we continue to do it, we are on paragraph number 2, because authority can be wrong. Even highly educated experts and respected leaders make errors. So very true. Questioning authority is not a rejection of expertise. It is a process for testing claims against evidence. That is so very important. It is not a rejection of expertise. It is a process of allowing the expertise to prove itself. Just like with vaccines, just like with so many other things going on. Just because you're being questioned, it doesn't mean that people don't believe. It just means that people want to see your evidence. And if you're on point, then your evidence should show what you're stating. And when you can't produce the evidence, or when the evidence you produce does not support your thought process or what you're claiming, then that's an issue. And that has happened so many times that now people no longer trust authority. But that doesn't mean we stop questioning it. We have to continue to question it, because when we don't, ChatGPT is laying down point by point by point what happens when we don't do what we are supposed to do as citizens and as human beings. Okay. Because rights are rarely secured permanently, many civil rights, labor protections, and political freedoms were achieved through people challenging existing power structures rather than accepting them. Let's say that again. Because rights are rarely secured permanently. So living your life and thinking that the rights that we have do not have to be constantly protected is insane. And what's going on now is proof of that. Just because we got rights doesn't mean we get to keep them if we're not willing to fight for them. That's the plight. That's the plight of humanity. Got to fight for your rights or be rolled over. Okay, many civil rights, let's repeat that. Because rights are rarely secured permanently, many civil rights, labor protections, and political freedoms were achieved through people challenging existing power structures rather than accepting them. Examples include the work of Frederick Douglass, Susan B. Anthony, and Martin Luther King Jr. Because innovation requires dissent, new discoveries often emerge when someone asks questions others are unwilling or unable to ask. Because innovation requires dissent, new discoveries often emerge when someone asks questions others are unwilling or unable to ask. An important distinction: questioning authority is not the same as rejecting authority. Exactly. Questioning authority is not the same as rejecting authority. A productive approach, you know what? I have to say that one more time for my mom. Questioning authority is not the same as rejecting authority. Okay, let's continue. A productive approach is listen to evidence and expertise, examine claims critically, ask questions, compare competing viewpoints, revise conclusions when new evidence appears. Okay, this is ChatGPT's final thought. Societies tend to function best when authority can be challenged, but challenges are evaluated through evidence, reason, and open discussion rather than unquestioning acceptance or automatic distrust. Okay, wow. ChatGPT, again, amazing. Okay, let's see what the Chinese AI Deepseek had to say. And just in case you forgot the question, allow me to repeat it. What are the benefits of questioning authority, and why should humanity continue to do it? Okay, here we go with Deepseek's answer. Questioning authority offers crucial benefits that directly support human progress and resilience. Here's why it matters and why we must continue. The key benefits. 1. Prevents stagnation and corruption. Unchallenged authority can become self-serving, inefficient, or abusive. Scrutiny exposes waste, hypocrisy, and misconduct from corporate boards to government agencies. That they put that very well to the point. Number 2, drives scientific and social progress. Nearly every major advancement from heliocentrism to civil rights began as a challenge to established authority. Questioning norms forces reevaluation of outdated truths. 3. Strengthens sound institutions. Paradoxically, authorities that withstand honest scrutiny earn greater legitimacy. Open criticism reveals flaws, allowing reform rather than collapse. And you know what? Let me just throw this in real quick because it was saying open criticism reveals flaws, allowing reform rather than collapse. One thing that there are many things that we're learning from this current administration, but one of the things that I've noticed is that people who have no intention of changing or who can't, they don't like criticism. They can't react to it, or it seems like they can't react to it. They can't change their course. They can't learn something else, which is intriguing, right? I mean, for me, I would say yes, because I've never been in a situation where I've been introduced to a challenge to something that I believed. It was sound information. I did my due diligence and my research. And once I found out my truth for myself, I upgraded what I thought. And I don't know how you don't do that. It's like you hear something and you say, okay, that sounds like it can be true. Then you go research it, you find out, okay, yeah, that is true. And then you say, no, I'm not going to accept it. How does that work? How is that even normal? I don't get it. Okay, off on another tangent. Let's continue. Number 4, develops critical thinking. Ooh, that's a good one. And that is what this podcast is all about. Developing critical thinking, or bringing it back. Learning to question thoughtfully, distinguishing reasonable doubt from cynicism builds analytical skills essential for both individuals and democracies. Essential for both individuals and democracies. Let's read that whole thing again. Number 4, develops critical thinking. Learning to question thoughtfully, distinguishing reasonable doubt from cynicism, builds analytical skills essential for both individuals and democracies. Ooh, that is good. That's a good one, Chatgpt. Okay, let's continue. Why continue questioning authority? Because power inherently tends towards self-preservation, not truth. Without ongoing challenge, authorities naturally reduce transparency and accountability. Woo! Deepseek ain't lying about none of that. The alternative, blind obedience, has repeatedly enabled disasters, from totalitarianism to industrial negligence. Woo! Now, Deepseek just said a mouthful there. Okay, let's continue. The goal, I think this is going to be Deepseek's summary. The goal isn't rejecting authority entirely, but demanding that it justify itself. There is nothing wrong at all with demanding that authority justify itself. There's nothing wrong with that. That is a necessity. A healthy society maintains both strong institutions and robust mechanisms to question them. The real risk isn't too much questioning, it's forgetting how to do it effectively. Oh, wow. That was good. Okay, let's read that again. This is, again, Deepseek's final thought. The goal isn't rejecting authority entirely, but demanding that it justify itself. A healthy society maintains both strong institutions and robust mechanisms to question them. The real risk isn't too much questioning, it's forgetting how to do it effectively. That was good. That was really good. Okay, so both ChatGPT and Deepseek had some really good observations. Okay, how does any of this affect our daily lives? According to my mom, I probably came out the womb questioning authority, and it's something that is instilled in me and always has been as far as I can remember. And it was never out of a disrespect. It was out of trying to gain knowledge and understanding. And what I learned early on in my early teens is that when you question people, a lot of times they don't have answers for you as to why they believe or why they do the things that they do. And I thought then, and now I think even more now, that it's because we are so stuck in the hustle culture, especially the Black community, because so many of us have to do 2 and 3 different things in order to make ends meet. So you don't develop your critical thinking when you're not thinking. And you don't think when you're hustling. And that is a reason why the whole hustle culture was created. It was to keep us all moving so we never slow down to critical think. And that has become a great negative for our people in our country. So we have got to fix that. We really have got to fix that. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to I hope it's a positive saying. I'm not really sure. I think I picked something. Let's see what we got here. Okay, this one. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is going to be good. Okay, I don't think I've used this one before. This is by Tracy Malone, who is a writer and an advocate for narcissist abuse recovery. Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. Tracy Malone, let's say that again. Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. And in parentheses, it says, encourages overcoming fear to reach one's full potential. Encourages overcoming fear to reach one's full potential. Okay, that's all I have for you on today's episode, number 106. Thank you so very much for giving me about 25 minutes of your time. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. We the people have the power. See you next episode. Peace.